Hi guys and welcome. When it comes to getting approved for a credit card, you're generally going to have an easier time of it if you opt for a cosigner. It can help you build up your credit and get all of the benefits that you're looking for, but these individuals will also be responsible for your debt if you don't make the payments you're supposed to. On this video, we're going to understand what is a credit card cosigner, how does it work, which credit cards allow cosigners, alternatives to cosigner, and other great informative details. Let's start. So, what is a credit card cosigner? Those who don't have good enough credit or who haven't been making payments on their own credit long enough might not be able to get a credit card on their own. Having a cosigner that has those things help you get the card that you're looking for. Keep in mind that your cosigner is taking responsibility in case you don't actually make the payments. In order to do that, they need to have good credit, and they need to understand they could end up liable for anything that you charge if you don't. The reason for a cosigner is that the credit card company wants to make sure their risk is as small as possible. They want to make sure that if you don't pay, they're still going to get their money, and the idea is that a cosigner is unlikely to let the account go. After all, someone who has good credit isn't likely to just sit back and let it all fall apart if you don't make the payments. Depending on what happens with the account, you could end up with good or bad credit scores. That cosigner has actually agreed to be held legally responsible for any debt that comes along with the account. On the other side of things, they don't have the right to a card or to statements or even to access in the account. That means they're relying on you to make the payments and to keep the card going right, without having any idea of what's happening. So when you get a cosigner or you are a cosigner on a debit or credit card, you want to know what it's all about, right? Well, this is how it works. Primary card holder. This person gets all the rights and responsibilities of a regular credit card holder. They get to use the card and they have to pay the debt associated with it. On the other hand, if they don't repay the debt, then that responsibility goes to the cosigner. Cosigner. This person is responsible for the debt that's incurred on the credit card if the primary card holder doesn't actually pay it. The problem with this for some people is that a cosigner can't be removed from an account once it's been created. That means they have to stay on the card the entire time that card is open. The only exception is if there's a cosigner's release clause. This type of clause could allow the cosigner to be removed if the primary account holder proves they are responsible and timely with their payments. At that point, the cosigner might be able to be removed. Not every credit card account is going to let you have a cosigner. In fact, there are a number of them that refuse because they consider it to be a bigger risk for them. That means you need to think about what you are and aren't able to do and whether a cosigner can help with the card you want. Getting a cosigner isn't the only option available to you. There are a couple others that might be easier to get. The first alternative is an authorized user. This is kind of like a cosigner, but it's actually in reverse. Instead of getting someone else to be on the hook for your account if you don't pay, you get added onto someone else's account. With this type of agreement, you don't even have to spend anything on the card, and your primary card holder may not want you to, but you get the benefits of them spending and paying the card. The primary card holder gets their card and you get a card of your own. From there, you get to spend on the card, if the primary allows you to, and you can make payments on the card. The main point of this card, however, is that you're going to get the credit benefits of the primary holder actually doing the work for you. On the other hand, you're not going to get as much help as you might think. It does do something and it's going to make a difference in you getting approved in the future, but being a primary card holder is the best way to go. Secured credit cards are another way to go. With these types of cards, you have to give the credit card company access to a set amount of money, and then you get that amount of money to spend on a credit card. If you make the payments on your card, there's no problem. If you don't, they can seize the money that you gave access to in order to get paid. That means, if you want a $500 credit limit, you would have to put that $500 in an account that you can't access, but the credit card company can. That means you don't have as much control, but you're going to get the benefits of a regular credit card, including the increase to your credit score. That makes it a whole lot better for you over time. There are actually some loans out there that are designed for people who need to build up their credit. This type of loan doesn't pay attention to your credit score. What it does require is that you have a set income so you can make the payments. From there, it's kind of like a secured credit card. You have to deposit the money you borrow and leave it there until the loan is paid off in the monthly installments. What's great is that your payments will be reported to the credit bureau, and you'll get an improvement for each on-time payment that you make. That's definitely worth it, right? When it comes to co-signing, it's always good to be aware and consider a couple of things. Your cosigner score can be affected on your usability. It's not just your score that's going to be affected if you don't make the payments on your credit card. Your cosigner is also going to see a drop in their own credit score, and that's definitely not something that either of you are going to want. It's been known to damage relationships, which we'll talk about next. Your personal relationship could be in jeopardy. If you don't make the payments on your credit card, or you fall behind, or you end up in default, it means that the cosigner you have is going to be in trouble for all of those things as well. That could mean that your personal relationship ends up on the rocks because they blame you for hurting their credit. If you're going to be getting a cosigner, it means this person is putting a lot of faith in you. It's important that both of you talk about what this is going to mean before you decide to go through with it. Make sure that your relationship is going to be okay and talk things out before you ever decide to take on that cosigner. Plan when it ends. You don't want a cosigner on your account forever, and they don't want to be on your account forever either. So talk about when you're going to end the agreement. That might mean that you have to cancel the original credit card and apply for a new one, but make sure you do it. There may be ways to just remove the cosigner, but this could be more difficult as well. Overall, there are some good and bad things associated with a cosigner. The best thing you can do is talk it over with them and consider all the options before you decide what you're going to do. Make sure that you talk with the credit card companies you're considering and that you pay attention to where you can get a cosigner. You may also want to look at the alternative options that are available for you. Just make sure, no matter what else, you're doing your research and putting in the hard work from the start. You want to get good credit, but you want to make sure you're doing it the right way. That's it for now. On our website, you can find more posts, as well as calculators and other financial tools. Looking for a credit card cosigner? We would love to know your thoughts, so feel free to share them with us in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube to get more free financial educative videos.